Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody today? I just grabbed my tea, sorry, and I'm flying in here a little bit on the cusp of my butt. Just thought I'd mention, like, for the one person that commented about this, which is Donna Gull. Sorry that I slurp sometimes in lives. It is live. I don't drink coffee any other videos that I make, so if my slurping sometimes bugs you, I'm sorry. Just thought I'd voice that. I try to be careful, but hey, it happens. Regardless, the camera and the mic are right in front of me, so you're gonna hear it. But this is only on lives. Every other video I do, I don't drink coffee live. So hello, Lady Shady, Sol Maldonado. Sorry, Maldonado. Veronica, Elaine, Tina Kelly, Craig Falconer. You're gorgeous. You can slurp. Well, thank you very much. I honestly don't do it intentionally, but the drink is hot, right? So I don't want to burn myself. So I do slurp a little bit, and I apologize. Somebody brought it to my attention, and I thought, okay, I need to be a little bit more aware of how I drink my coffee. You're funny. Thanks, guys. I honestly think it's not the majority that we're thinking that. It was just one person. So regardless. Hello, Kate Watts from Ontario. Welcome, welcome. If you're new to the channel, or hey, if you're a regular to the channel and you enjoy spending time here, throw up a like sign. I enjoy the support as you're coming and going. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe because, hey, we have a lot of great interactive conversations here, and I would love to see all of you here regularly. Okay. So, hello, Bodies After Babes. Nice. From Alberta. Right on. Miss Milky the Clown. Nice. Hey, Chica. What's up, Barbara? So, before I get into the Chris Watts details, hello, Stephanie. So happy to have you all join. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the support on the likes, and I appreciate that. Hello, Georgia. So I just wanted to say a quick announcement in regards to a story that I recently saw in regards to a lady named Samantha Josephson. Now, she was getting into a vehicle that she thought was her, safe ride, her Uber ride. And, she didn't really check and things like that. Not that any of this is her fault because of that, but I want to spread awareness due to, we're all wrapped up in our own worlds and our own minute, and we got our phones and we're talking to friends and all this kind of stuff, that everything sometimes happens so quickly. And so what happened with this poor girl, and she's 20 years old, you guys, to lose her life, was she went rushing up to the car that she thought was for her safe ride to get home and went jumping into the vehicle. And as the door closed, the child lock safety was on and she could not get back out of that car. And it ended up being her last ride. Unfortunately, she was stabbed and she was found later. But I want to spread awareness that we should always check inside before you jump inside. You know what I mean? We're already so go, 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 go that, something like this, as horrible as it is, you guys, I think we need to spread awareness on it because we're so invested in our devices and the people around us. We don't necessarily pay attention to every little detail. And, due to her jumping into this ride, it was not safe. And, of course, the person was caught, you guys, and was arrested. But, I wanted to spread awareness because so many of us go through our lives so quickly like that. And it could have been any one of us that was just like, oh, hey, my ride's here, because the vehicle pulled up close and you thought it was your ride. She had no idea who was on the inside and whatnot. So the suspect in Samantha Josephson's murder is named Daniel David Rowland. And so I just wanted to spread some awareness on this story because of how many of us take Ubers and get safe rides. And I mean, they're now trying to look into making it mandatory to have a visible sign that's far enough away from 50 feet, up to 50 feet away, that you're able to see, that's illuminated in some way or glows in some way, that you're able to decipher that vehicle ride is there for you. And I guess every Uber person or every safe ride, vehicle owner will have to have like their own, or, if they're working underneath a company, they'll have to have one, installed or whatever. So crazy story, right? I mean, this girl had her whole life ahead of her. She was planning on enrolling in the law school. She was very intelligent, and she had her whole life ahead of her. And just due to one little mistake or whatever of not noticing who was driving that vehicle, or when she opened up the door to necessarily look inside and say, hey, are you the Uber shuttle guy? Because maybe had she have asked, right, she would have gotten that sixth sense that something was not right, and she would have shut the door and backed away from the car, and she'd still be here. But sadly, that's not what happened. And she jumped into the vehicle thinking that that was her ride, and that ended up being her last ride. So I wanted to spread awareness on that, because so many of us utilize these new age features to get around and spend our time with friends and stuff like that. And so we need to be more cautious and more aware too of our surroundings. So yes, very sad, Amy. Hi, welcome, by the way. But yes, very sad. And I thought, the story was talked about a little bit on HLN, which, I now regularly follow after seeing my camera footage up on their TV screen. I was like, hey, whatever, though. I'll leave that to their CEOs and all of that to look into. I have nothing to worry about personally. Love my top. Oh, thanks, Chica. Yeah, it is kind of cute, hey? So, okay, I wanted to get into the information that I came across about Chris Watts, because this is why we're all here today. And, this is information that nobody's ever talked about before. So I'm happy to be the first to kind of announce it and let you guys know. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate the support, you guys. Let me just catch up on a couple of comments before we jump into it here. Hello, Georgia. Hello, Trees, Veltoven. Belinda in Colorado. Nice. Hello, Alice. Ocean Hendonist, North Carolina. Right on. So this lady was actually, Samantha Josephson was from South Carolina. So perhaps you've even heard of that story already. Heartbreaking, nonetheless, for sure. But yeah, definitely scary, right? Drink your coffee whatever way you want to enjoy. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, in all honesty, it really was just the one person that mentioned something, and I thought, well, maybe I should say something about that. I really don't. I try not to slurp too much, but yes, thank you. Yeah, very sad for sure. In the UK, we have password that is given to us different at all the time. Driver doesn't know it, you don't get in. Very cool. That is an awesome little safety feature that I think that the rest of the world should incorporate, because I definitely don't think that that's okay, whatever happened. I don't know who this person was that was on the inside of this vehicle, or who was even with him, but what happened to her was completely uncalled for. And so now it seems as though they're coming up with some of these safety features, and perhaps that'll be one of them. That's an awesome suggestion for sure. Well, and I mean, if your country is already doing it and it's successful, I think that's a great way to safety net yourself, Okay, so the last time that we talked about Chris Watts and the correctional institution that he was in and stuff, it was a little bit misconstrued, and I was actually giving some information on a couple of them, but the one that I thought that Chris was in was the Waupun one, even though he's in the Waupun area or whatever. He's actually in the Dodge Corrections Institution. So I wanted to share some of those details with you guys, and I also want to share with you the handbook that he's going to be given like very soon, as well as the information of what he is all allowed to bring in. I had no idea on some of this stuff. There's a list. And so I'm like, okay, this is cool. We need to share this with everybody. So the purpose, the purpose statement for Dodge Correctional Facility states that the primary purpose of the Dodge Correctional Facility is to serve as a central reception center for all adult male inmates sentenced to prison. So DCI promotes safe communities and institution safety through humane custodial treatments and supervision of inmates. DCI staff work collaboratively with staff from the Bureau of Offender Classification and Movement to complete a comprehensive assessment and evaluation of each inmate, determining program needs, custodial level, and institution placement. So when you get there, basically, he has a bunch of things that he has to abide by as well. And so if you don't really know, the inmate population versus the staffing correctionals officers in the facility, there's the capacity of this establishment, in all honesty, shockingly, is only 1,165, and they're actually already at population of 1,765. So they've got 600 more people than they're even supposed to have, shockingly, but they have enough jobs for every one of them as well. So that's kind of cool. Regardless, I wanted to share with you guys the information of what he was all sort of allowed to bring in there right from the beginning, right? And this comes from the intake authorization property officials, and so the following is a list of all of the items that he was allowed to bring in. And it starts off stating an address book. So no spirals or metal was allowed to come with it, but he was allowed to always have an address book. An embossed envelope. So he was limited to 30 envelopes, loose stamped or meter envelopes or pre-stamped. He was also allowed to have photocopies or pictures up to a limit of 50. Gang-related Polaroid photos depicting nudity or digitally altered photos were not permitted, but everything else was. And he's allowed to have his prescription eyeglasses or contact lenses if he so should need them, limited to 2 pairs. And then he's also allowed... he has to be medically required to have the contact lenses as well, it states, but he's also allowed to have dentures in a storage container, watches with clear plastic style only, no alarm, no timers, no leather bands or lights, but he's allowed to have a watch. Personal ring, only one stone or gemstone will be embedded into the surface of the ring, if he has. Personal letters, so he has a limit of 25 personal letters that he's allowed. He's also allowed legal marital photos, open case stuff, anything related to, his case. No books or pamphlets. He's allowed to have a hearing aid. He's allowed to have a Bible or a Quran. I don't know if we were talking about the different religions and I couldn't remember what the East Indian one is. That's what I was talking about. It was the Quran one. I just couldn't remember the name of it at the time. He's also allowed personal ID, so social security card, driver's license, birth certificate, no wallets, which is weird. Medical appliances, like leg, arm, neck brace, back brace, prosthetics, all medically approved, of course. And then the medical alert medallion or bracelet has to meet the DOC size specification. And then also like a medicine bag, religious emblem, anything like that. And then it says to please separate inmate property so it is not combined with other inmates' property. Items not on this list are considered contraband and will not be accepted into DCI. Contraband will be thrown out or returned with the transporting county at the discretion of the inmate. Okay. Now, hey, Miss Coley, I just switched over. I'm on 2 screens, you guys, and as much as I still can't figure out all this stuff, like I will get it figured out hopefully one day, and if not, we'll make it work. All right, there's still more to this, though. It was just shocking how many items were sort of allowed in with him right from the get-go when we thought he wasn't allowed anything. He was sitting in there with literally nothing, and unless you had read the disclosed document, you didn't even see what he was allowed. He was allowed books from the get-go too. Things that supposedly he wasn't allocated from, courts, he was allowed when he was behind bars, Thanks for the hearts, Veronica. Love it. So, okay. So then the next thing I wanted to go over with you guys is excuse me. All right. So when you go into general population, you're given sort of a written handbook, and you're allowed to review everything. You're allowed to take this with you, kind of thing. In this handbook, it specifically states, though, that there's a PREA. It's called Prison Rape Elimination Act. And so basically allowing, any of the inmates in there, as I had stated to you guys before, he does have basic rights to protection and stuff like that. So the PREA, Prison Rape Elimination Act, states that you have the right to be safe from sexual violence while you are under the supervision of the Division of Adult Institutions in the Wisconsin Department of Corrections. No inmate or staff has the right to pressure you into any sexual acts, regardless of your age, size, gender, race, ethnicity, or sexual orientation. You have the right to be safe from any sexual advances and acts. The federal government passed the Prison Rape Elimination Act, PREA, in 2003 to help prevent, reduce, and eliminate any sexual misconduct between inmates and between inmates and staff. Under Wisconsin law or the Division of Adults Institution rules, sexual intercourse, contact, or conduct between inmates and staff is prohibited. Sexual assault of an inmate or staff member will be investigated and referred for prosecution pursuant to the laws of Wisconsin. So they have a zero tolerance for that, as well as other things. Basically, you cannot even insinuate anything sexual, kind of thing, without it possibly being something that could be reported. Now, anybody who's maybe even been to prison knows that that might bring some more recourse of action of anger from other people if you go ahead and report them. But I'm sure there's due process in this entire situation. I thought it was just interesting that in the general population handbook, they're actually describing the process of if should that ever happen to you, what you need to do and who you need to go to and whatever. Basically anything they would tell you as a woman being raped, not to wash, not to eat, not to shower, all these things to preserve evidence and all of that stuff is depicted in this handbook, which is quite interesting. I actually was a little bit shocked to see some of that stuff in there, in all honesty. Yeah, he is allowed pictures of his victims. Absolutely. Yeah, they have to protect his ass. Lisa, Avery, you're so funny. Yes, they do. So, but did you know that they were going to be giving them this exact handbook? I mean, I was just like, oh my gosh, there's so much in here. Everything from, let me read you some of the, because there's like 6 chapters. 5 chapters, sorry. So the resources for inmates, that would be the canteen, court appearances, detainers, warrants, electronic monitoring, funerals and family illnesses, haircuts, inmate complaints review system, interviews with staff, legal matters and services, all that kind of jazz, mail correspondence, medical, dental, psychological services, dental, health, money, like child support, everything, restitution, earnings, records with the office, telephone calls, program guides, so like correspondence for educational and religious hobbies and stuff, social services, work assignments, religious programs, recreation. They have guidelines for daily living, which is body fluids, clothing, counts. So emergency counts, they have to be available for, like, as soon as that goes off. Disciplinary dispositions, grooming, housekeeping, ID badges, meals, movement, room keys. So I guess they have certain rooms that are locked that they can only get access to when allowed. Security threats, showers, television sets, radio sets that it says in personal. And then there's unit living, so like day rooms, recreation, television viewing, seniority for single cell, waiting list. And then they've got, wake up calls and personal property, general guidelines, hobby items, personal document storage, radio, TV repair, storage of personal property, sunglasses, tamper evidence seals, typewriters. And then chapter 5 is health and safety. So emergencies, fires, severe weather, energy conservation, and general DCI staffing guidelines. Excuse me. Sorry, you guys. Our weather has been shifting on us here. It hasn't been so great. So as a former correctional officer, I can tell you that since Chris Watts is a child killer, most of all of the inmates want to kill him rather than have sex with him. Yeah. Okay. And so that being said, I don't know if you guys remember, we were talking about the ending of the prison interview and how Chris and Tammy and Dave and Graham started talking about Patrick Frazee, as well as, and I know that I probably don't say that name right, but I'm French and I'm sorry I say it wrong. But they were also talking about Jake Thomas Patterson. And it's interesting that he says that Jake Thomas Patterson better watch out if he ends up there. Meanwhile, Jake Thomas Patterson's victim is still alive and Chris's is dead, so I don't know about that, but it's also interesting that he has, these sort of barriers, I guess, of protection in a sense, right? So how is he living so well? Yes. Yeah, I was quite shocked to read some of these things myself. I had no idea how much was allocated and given to him, and that he was allowed to have in there, Excuse me. Very wrong. They're not allowed pictures of the victims, but they let them. Well, they are allowed to have pictures. They're allowed to have up to 50 pictures, and they're allowed to have up to 25 letters. And, there's a whole list. I was shocked myself, and the fact that there's, 1,800, about just under 1,800 inmates, and there's only like 530 staff, it's a little imbalanced. And it sounds like the facility itself was actually only built to capacity to hold 1,165 inmates. And if at the fiscal year end of 2018, it states that they had 1,765, how many more do they have? And that tells me that they're kind of living cramped over there, which is, kind of shocking. But I mean, I guess that's happening everywhere. Every prison system seems to be sort of bursting at the seams, trying to fit everybody in. But I mean, isn't Chris Watts by himself? And apparently there's a list to get onto single dwelling cells. So interestingly enough, the Dodge Correctional Institution was built the same year I was born. I thought that was kind of cool. Not really, but you know what I mean. It's just like, huh, you see the year there, you're like, interesting. Okay. I'm sure there was a lot more interesting things that happened in 1978, but whatever. It was duly noted. I was like, okay. Yeah, the canteen menu is huge. Have you guys never heard how much items he has to offer to buy? I know I looked it up one time because we were talking about it, but it might have been at the Colorado facility. No, I don't know. know now. Now I'm not sure. Let's see if I can find it. Canteen list for Dodge. I know that I had looked this up at one point, so it should be relatively easy to find. Yeah, Dodge Correctional Institution. You would think it would be on there too. Well, I don't want to just go dead silent on you guys, as I focus and concentrate on trying to find it. It's like, whatever, but I do remember putting it up actually even on a link that I was sharing with you guys. But for some reason, I feel like that was the Colorado Canteen list or something. I don't know. I'm probably mixing it up. Hello, Jordy girl. You love my hair. Thank you. That's nice of you. Thanks. I tried to do something different because somebody mentioned, maybe trying a different look. So voila, here's a different look. Thanks for all the like signs, guys. I appreciate the support. Nothing is free. People are making tons of money off the prison system. One of my sons is in federal. It's $3 a minute to call. Cheaper where Chris Watts is. Interesting, Donna. Yeah, call or eat. Yeah. I recently heard about somebody inventing, though, too, this new app. It's for prisoners, though. I can't remember what it is. Let's see if I can Google quick and see. I can't remember who the heck I saw that from, though. Oh, maybe it's this story. It was in Forbes. I seem to remember this might be it. Frederick Hudson is a man who sees business opportunities in everything. By his own admission, he doesn't always work out for the best. Hudson spent 4 years in prison after getting arrested for an opportunity he saw in drug trafficking, a huge market, and one that was, as he saw it, ripe for distribution. Police busted him in Vegas mail stop, where he'd been reducing inefficient errand series by rerouting marijuana through the Florida business via FedEx, UPS, and DHL. Hudson had built several businesses before, after a stint in the Air Force, which he left with an honorable discharge, began meditating on new ideas soon after he started his 51-month sentence in 2007, age 24. The inefficient prison system and there was just so many opportunities, big ripe for a $2.3 million doing time in the U.S. and keeping in touch with friends and family on the outside. There's no internet in prison, so all communication is through snail mail or the phone. Calls are often expensive and long distance. Relatives and friends leading increasingly digitalized lives write less and don't get around to sending photos for weeks on end. It was at a pinpoint where I first experienced firsthand. I'm very close to my family and I knew they cared about me. But even with knowing how much they cared about me, they still sometimes unable to send me photos. Transitioning from digital to analog is tough, but Hudson said it's hard to sit down and write a letter now, simply to text or email. What if you created a website that printed out emails, texts, or photos from your computer, Facebook, or Instagram, mailed them to you in a plain white envelope? These institutions favored. The idea for Pidge Only was born. Essentially, it's a platform that centralizes the myriad state-level database, making it a quick search to find when an inmate is in the system. Hudson himself was moved 8 times during his stay, as well as a way to communicate. People lost the system. Interesting. Yeah, so I guess this person has created he's created this app or whatever. It further states here through its sub-brands, Photo Pigeon, which sends digital prints to inmates, and Telepigeon, which lowers phone call rates through VoIP pigeon only, is on track to be profitable on about 1 million its revenues in its first year, following 2 million in seed financing from Silicon Valley investors. Hudson's Las Vegas-based team has grown from 2 to 12. Key to this is getting accepted to NUMMI, a Silicon Valley accelerator for underrepresented minorities. It was the only accelerator to accept Hudson. He says when he started as part of the winter 2013 cohort, he and his co-founder Alfonso Brook had already launched a version of Pigeon only. While Hudson was still in his halfway house, they quickly picked up 2,000 customers by directly mailing inmates touting their services. Interesting. So they've identified an area where they can make some profit here just by incorporating and having people be able to access this app and be able to send pictures and all kinds of things, you know, texts and emails and stuff. So pretty interesting though, you know, like somebody was recently discussing with me the fact that you know, Stephen Avery has gone about to get a bunch of legal education and stuff while he's been locked up. Like, you know, in my opinion, like Stephen Avery has definitely, you know, he was wrongfully put away for 18 years, and that DNA exonerated him a long time ago. And so the fact that he had something bad happen to him a secondary time with the exact same police people and stuff like that, I think that he felt like, hey, I've got to do something about this. I have to take control of this myself. And it wasn't until he got that settlement, you know, from the first lawsuit that he was able to acquire Kathleen Zellner to go on, you know. And I'm so stoked to see that trial. Like, I want to see that retrial. I want to see the evidence. I want to see the DNA testing. I want to see the forensic proof. And I want to see if the bones that were returned to the Hallbeck family are actually Teresa Hallbeck's, because, like, God forbid that these people went and returned bones that aren't actually hers in, you know, in place of their only loved one that was murdered, you know. And not only that, but it seems like they never even put the right person behind bars. So the whole thing seems really coerced and stuff like that. And it's really interesting to watch Kathleen Zellner pick this apart. And I just can't wait to get into court to watch her rip apart every single little piece of evidence that they tried to hold their entire case on. I mean, everything's just going to come crashing down. I'm just like waiting for it. They have worked their asses off to frame him all this time. I totally agree. And that's sad, you know, that all over a huge lawsuit, but whatever, all over doing something wrong the first time. And perhaps it was a mistake because you didn't have proper, you know, testing and forensics and stuff in order to really prove who did what. You know, the mistake was created. At that point, I think everybody should have had all hands off of that guy. Let him kind of rest in peace in a sense. I mean, he wasn't the greatest guy, but the characteristics that people are talking about are things from his childhood. It's not like he got out of jail at, you know, 18 or whatever age. I can't remember how old he was, you guys, when he got out, but it's not like he got out of jail and it was at that point that he started up acting like a fool. He was just acting like a fool when he was a kid and stuff, but he was always ready to own up to it as well, you know. So I think he definitely got framed. And that lawsuit ended up getting settled while he was sitting in prison. And that's how I believe he was able to acquire Kathleen Zellner. So love greetings from Turkey. Thank you, Mr. Demir, or unless they're Mrs. Demir, sorry. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to see, you know, how things are happening with his case as well. Good night, Journey. Off to bed. Have a great sleep. I'm going to warm up my drink. I'll be right back. So sorry. Love the sofa. The sofa is actually all separate pieces. So it's called an infinity sectional. So you can always move it in a bunch of different ways. And it's so light, like you can literally just slide it. Like it's so light. But it is a really pretty set. Hello, Erin. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Valerie. Thank you. Thanks for the compliment, guys. I appreciate it. I try to make my surroundings as comfy the way that I like it, you know. I actually came here to this town with nothing, so I built up my surroundings bit by bit until I acquired everything that I needed or wanted. Basically, Watts is at day camp, isn't he? There's too much freedom. Someone needs to rewrite these rules, right? I actually don't think that's going to happen. And I was quite shocked, to be honest with you guys. Even in the juvenile detention center that I've been in, as a juvenile, I had nothing. We weren't allowed anything. Like every single thing was taken. Like I'm shocked, you know, that there's an entry list with an inmate allotted list of stuff. Like I'm shocked. So yeah, for annihilating his entire family, he basically gets 3 square meals a day with a roof over his head. Even if it's chilly once in a while, he's still completely content. He has no mortgage. He has restitution, but I mean, how much of that's really going to get paid off? I mean, he's not even working right now. So quite the punishment. But yeah. You love the yellow flowers? Thanks. Well, someone mentioned that I needed to do some feng shui. So I was like, all right, here's the feng shui. We'll just, you know. Hey, Tammy. But yeah, he, you know, to be allowed to have, you know, 30 stamped envelopes, 50 pictures, 25 letters, your Bible, a ring, watches, dentures if you need it. I mean, glasses, I get a couple of things like that, but watches and address book and I don't know. There's a whole list of things that he's allowed, and so much. I'm telling you, like that just wasn't anything that was even offered here in Canada in juvenile detention centers. So this is maximum security, but I think he's only in day camp until a televised crap stops. Then he's fair game. Well, he already knows that he's going into general population. That's why he's going to be given that handbook. You know, with everything that he can and can't do. Dodge Correctional Institution General Population Handbook. And the handbook is to remain in your possession until you leave the institution, and is to be turned in to your unit officer prior to leaving. If this handbook is lost, altered, or damaged, you may be charged a fee for replacement, because the handbook is 42 pages long. And it has, you know, a bunch of information as far as his rights, as far as the Prison Rape Elimination Act, and then as far as what he's allowed to order. I'd like to see, I think he said his haircuts, he was only allowed like twice a month or something like that. But I mean, he's allowed most all of his case files if he wants. He probably doesn't have that, but we were under the impression that from the get-go, he wasn't even going to have a book or anything like that. It was just going to be him and four walls kind of thing, you know? Of course, I can't look and do things at the same time, really, you know? I just end up freezing in my speech because I can't talk and look and read stuff. I'll have to replay later. Hi, Valerie Ogle. You always heard jail is worse than prison. See, you guys, death row is even like better than this, because I mean they get TVs in their room, they get, you know, all kinds of goodies, if you will, you know. I don't know if he's going to be sharing a cell or not, but by the sounds of it, the Dodge Correctional Facility has like a waiting list for people who, you know, want to be in a single cell dwelling. So I think for safety reasons, he's going to always sort of have a single cell dwelling. I don't see that changing. Interesting. You got in trouble. Yeah, I'm reading that, sweetie. That's funny. Well, I could have stretched this out, you know, like forever, but I really just like to get to the point, you know? But I do really want to find this one spot, for crying out loud. Just dead air. It's like, oh, seriously. Books, magazines, library, legal matters, interview, complaint, hairdressing, wax and love donation, program to learn more about the anonymous donation of hair. So I guess what they're doing for haircuts is they're donating to the Locks of Love donation program. Anybody who's cutting their hair, so that's probably what he did. Well, they did tell him to change his appearance because he was moving, and they didn't really want to have to deal with, you know, that him getting into trouble right off the hop, right? Delano, I told a bunch of times. Prison always better than jail. In prison, you can get your cigarettes, a little weed. We call him homemade hooch. Praise him, but it was better than jail. Well, he's definitely, yeah, he's definitely into a better place where he has, you know, access to more things and whatnot. So, hello, coffee cup. Her hair is too short. His hair is too short to donate. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Like at the time that he was first taken in, because remember he was asked to change his appearance. I believe that was just before he was leaving Colorado to get transferred over to Waupun, right? Maybe impersonated a federal officer. What? You like long hair on everybody? Damn, you're so funny. Have you guys seen these? There's a company that invented this being part of the FBI in a sense, but it's called Firm Believer In. And then, well, it's Jesus, actually. They've put on a lot of them. So I was thinking it would be kind of cool to have that be like, I'm part of the FBI, firm believer in whatever it is you believe in, and having that be like, you can choose whatever. Yeah, the kitty just walked by. I know, I saw him too. Change his appearance by eating donuts and brownies. Yeah. He's allowed like $37.50 a day, or I mean a week. Sorry, sheesh, not a day. But I mean, still, like that's a lot of money weekly for Canteen. But I have to go get my boy from school. Thank you for the live, Mrs. Much love to you all. Much love, Heather. Drive safe, walk safe, just be safe wherever you're going to pick up your son, and have a great rest of your night, darling. You donated your hair to a Little Princess Trust. The shortest hair they accepted was 12 inches. Wow. Now I feel like a coffee. Nice. Worst thing is in prison, you're showering with 25 inmates. Jail is a single shower. Gotta watch out for Bubba Doe in prison. Dude, it's no joke. It's like a marriage ring. Oh my gosh. Yeah, what a situation to have to be in. But, he kind of put himself there all, to get rid of his responsibilities and his debt. I mean, now he's sitting in four walls, and all he's got is that still. So like he's got, his responsibilities of his debt. And it's just like he still has his restitution. I mean, I get that it's not very much, but still. Do you love all your fans? Davian Cofield. I do. Yes, I do. Bye, Kayla. That's true, Valerie. You see somebody drinking one, it makes you want one. That is so true. Well, if you're going to be getting into an Uber or a safe ride of any kind, you guys, I was sincerely checking before you just sit into the vehicle and get into the vehicle, because you don't know whose vehicles these people are. You don't even know who the Uber person is. You don't know if they're, angry or if they're chill. So in all honesty, it's always good, in my opinion, to pop the door open and be like, hey, are you here for so-and-so? Just make that contact that, they know that you're asking them a question, and then if they can't seem to figure out what the frick you're talking about, well, you obviously know that's not your ride, and to get into someone's ride when you don't know who they are can be detrimental, as we're now hearing with, Samantha Josephson in South Carolina. So, crazy, in all honesty. Yeah, ask who they're coming for, ask, anything, about like what they're there for. Like, are you here to pick somebody up? You know what I mean? Just make that contact because you don't want to get into a bad situation and not be able to get out. Don't be sorry for me, sweetie. I totally know good people, good and bad, but before I went to prison, I didn't know that. You can judge a book by its cover in some places. I don't know about judging a book by its cover, but I get what you're saying. It's just I get what you mean. I don't like to judge a book by its cover because there's some fantastically intelligent people out in the world that maybe just don't, dress or look exactly the way you would think somebody in that caliber would be. But to judge somebody is shallow, in my opinion. They are registered drivers, but the vehicle that she got into, this person in South Carolina, she didn't even know, and she just jumped into the vehicle. The door automatically locked, and she was not able to get out, and it ended up being her last ride. The people in this vehicle or person in this vehicle ended up killing her. And it wasn't actually her Uber ride, but that's my point in spreading awareness on this is that, we're all so busy and fast stuck up in our devices. We need to be more aware and to take a second and say, hey, are you here for, ABC? And are you whoever, before you just jump in and close the door? You know what I mean? Because like this horrible situation has happened. There's nothing we can do to change it now, but we can sure talk about this, spread the awareness out there so that you're not too busy on your phone to look up and make that contact with the driver and figure out that they're actually there for you. Once you get in, go about your business. Once you figure out that ride is safe and it is yours, great. But if you're not paying attention before that you even get to that point, and you don't know whose vehicle you're jumping into, that's a whole scary situation all in itself. So the information stated that let me just go back to excuse me. So the funeral is on April 3rd. This all literally just happened. They do have a person in custody, Nathaniel David Rowland. But it doesn't release very much information, you guys. This was with the Columbia Police Department. Because this just happened on March 30th. So, a couple of days ago, a few days ago. And you can see the video if you actually look this story up. There's video that catches her last moments, and she is on her phone. She is, preoccupied, and she just goes rushing up to the vehicle and opens up the door and gets in and closes the door, and she couldn't get back out. And that guy never let her out. So I was just like, this is freaking scary, and we need to talk about this. The world needs to hear about this, because if we can talk about this and save one person from doing the same thing, how many of us are stuck on our phones and we're not paying attention because we're already kind of thinking about our next move, our next event, our next stop, our next chore, our next errand, right? I'm guilty of it. But when I see things like this happen, I'm like, okay, this is what my platform is for, to spread awareness, about truthful stories that could potentially help save just one person around the world from going through the exact same freaking thing. It is a huge wake up call, guys. I'm not trying to make light of it and, let's not be involved in our devices and stuff. We can be involved in our devices and do whatever we're doing, but we also need to be paying attention to what's happening around us. Because if you don't take that minute, you don't know if that's going to be your last minute, because you didn't take the minute to look around and be aware. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, we need to talk about this and spread some awareness, that who cares about what your next event and moment is if you're not going to make it to it? You know what I mean? So like, I'm just trying to, I guess, put that sense of emergency into us and say like, there, it takes only but a minute to stop on whatever you're doing, right? And touch base with whatever the next thing you're going to do is, and then go back right back to your device and have fun. But be careful in this world. That's all I'm trying to say, right? But yeah, a huge wake up call just by seeing this one thing happen to somebody. I feel like, well, by sharing this story, we can prevent that one thing from happening to anybody else that listens on my platform, that's here, that shares, my stories. So yeah, make sure nobody's following you. You definitely want to watch and pay attention to your surrounding and stuff like that. So I'm not telling people not to be on your devices. I'm just stating that, due to that is what you could see happen. You know what I mean? You could see it happening, that the poor girl was just so preoccupied in everything that she was doing. She just opened up the car door, guys, and got in and closed the door. And she did not know that the childproof lock was going to be on. You think that when you do get into a vehicle that you think is your Uber ride, even if she realized right in that second, as soon as she sat down, that it wasn't the Uber ride, she still couldn't get out that damn door. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, we need to talk about this because, we all use these kinds of services and they spread like wildfire because the convenience of them is huge. And so if we don't share some of these bad experiences to share that awareness, I think that we're not going to save anybody else. Somebody could go through the exact same thing, but now just these, 50 some odd people that are here that we're talking about this with might go to dinner tonight or to have breakfast in the morning and be mentioning that this exact thing with their loved ones, who are then going to go on to their job or their workplace or their school, and they're going to be telling it to their friends. And this is just going to constantly spread awareness of, hey, listen, this happened to this girl in South Carolina. All we need to do is be more careful and pay attention. Check your ride before you get inside, and keep yourself a little bit safe, right? What was her name? It was Samantha Josephson. She was in South Carolina. The video footage is it's sad because you can see that she's just such an innocent person going about her everyday life, and that's what we all do. But because she got into the wrong person's vehicle, she's now dead. I mean, that's crazy. So we need to talk about it and spread that awareness so that that doesn't happen to anybody that we know and love, or whatever. She was 20. Yeah, she was very young, you guys. I mean, she had her whole life ahead of her. She was planning to enroll in law school. She was a very promising individual, you guys. Beautiful woman, absolutely, and her life is just gone because she got into the wrong vehicle and this person was a bad guy. Like, that's just crazy. There was so many freaking people right there too. There was a crowd of people that were standing around there. She was off to the side. This vehicle comes pulling in and she just walks right up to it and gets in, not realizing, that it really wasn't her Uber ride, but she had already closed the door. I mean, it's just so scary and it's so heartless that people could do this to other people, you know? At least make them tell you your own number. Well, just anything, right? Just checking with them before you sit down in their vehicle, too. I mean, I don't think this could have been prevented with what happened to her. She happened to just get into the wrong person's vehicle that was a bad guy, and he just didn't let her out. But I think this is preventable for other people around the world that are in their everyday busy lives, just by talking about the story. I think we can save someone, from going through the same thing. Yeah, well, there was apparently the child lock was on, so she couldn't get out even if she wanted to, you guys. The lady's name in South Carolina was Samantha Josephson. Yeah, there's a couple of these. Well, this is just scary, and I think it deserves to be, we need to spread awareness on this. Yeah, I don't think that the window would have been kickable, to be honest. They're built really solid, you guys, car windows and stuff. Yeah. Hello, Phil Hughes. I hear a click and you think, yeah, that mofo's gonna think he caught a bear in there. I don't think it's, by the sounds of it, it didn't seem like she really had a chance. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Yeah, Samantha Josephson. I don't know about the Libby one, actually. Yeah, in all honesty, what's it called? Like a spark plug or something? If you have a spark plug, that actually breaks the window pretty easily or something. But I mean, be careful, right? Just plain and simple. You don't want to be getting into somebody's vehicle that you don't really know who the heck they are, just because you're, onto your text message or, dealing with work or whatever it is that you're doing. Your life isn't worth not taking a second to, really evaluate where you are and what you're doing, right? So be careful, guys. I would hate to have shared a story here online and something similar happened to one of you guys. That would just break my heart. I would feel like just defeated for real. Like I don't want anybody else to get hurt, but I mean, it's happening left, right, and center all the time. And we're hearing about more and more stories all over the place of people being mistreated, right? They won't let me. You're funny, Lisa. Love the feisty, love it. Carry a pair of scissors and you can just cut the seatbelt. Yeah, but I mean, would you be able to do that without them noticing? I mean, yeah, I don't know. Hello, Stephanie Herb. Better late than never. Welcome. Glad you could make it. Sorry you missed all the juicy details, though. I mean, I thought it was pretty interesting to hear of like a list, an arm-long list of things that are allowed in the prison with Chris, and then all the the handbook that he's going to acquire. I don't think anybody realized that he's going to be given this handbook and he's to oblige by it, and I mean whatever, and he's also got to return it upon if he ever leaves, which we don't see happening. Well, that's not how he's sentenced anyways. What were the juicy details? The juicy details were the statistical facts on the prison dodge system, as well as the general population handbook, as well as the list of non-contraband items that were allotted into the prison along with Chris right from the beginning, which I was shocked, to see how many things he was allowed to bring into the prison with him. How about if I just share that with you guys? If any of you guys want to take a look at this list, here it is. Jeremy Bailey, I love Jesus and all of that, honey, but I don't need you coming up in here and just throwing up all this Jesus Christ is love and all of that and all these biblical things and stuff. Like, I love God, I love the Bible, but like, where are you coming from when that's not even a topic right now? You're a little kind of off in left field there, dude, it's just unnecessary. It's like, I think people who already come here and visit my channel already know how I feel. So we don't need to like slap it all over the channel. Like, get out of here. Seriously, dude. The handbook tells them not to bend over. Yeah, well, not really, but you know what I mean, right? I mean, they're definitely discussing the prison, the Prison Rape Elimination Act, and letting him know that, although that being said, you guys, like, if anything bad were to happen to him like that, I don't think that he would probably say anything. It would probably get him into more trouble with the inmates, if anything else. But, as far as we know, he is in a single cell regardless. So the only people he necessarily even interacts with is his correction officers, which I honestly don't think any of them are going to do anything to him like that, Hello, Mommy Peanut. Stephanie's just chuckling like, oh boy, right? Sheesh, some people. Yeah, we got rid of the Jeremy person. Sorry, the super just for fun. I like to be inclusive of everybody, so to just come around and start blurting that out makes people feel like if they don't think that way or they don't have the same belief systems, that they're not wanted. And that couldn't be furthest from the truth. That's the entire reason I didn't bring it up for at least the year and a half. Because I didn't want anybody thinking that, a lot of people have a stigma attached to the Christians being judgmental. And I know that because I've been judged by those exact people who say they're so Christian, but they're not when they're doing that. And they're talking behind people's backs. And you know what I mean? Whatever. So it's uncalled for, and I don't want anybody to feel like they're not welcome. You could be a Satanist for all I care. You're still welcome here. We're still conversating, and as long as we are having like-minded issue topics here, I don't see a problem. Doesn't matter what what color you are, what size, what race, what ethnicity, what religious background, it doesn't matter. So when somebody comes in here doing that, it kind of bothers me. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Yes. Well, what's hypocritical? Sorry. I just think it's uncalled for. Like, it's not even, I don't even know that person, but they're going to come over and start dropping all these biblical verses and stuff. Like, come on. I am all for that, but I'm not all for making everybody else feel uncomfortable in the moment. Like, what's wrong with you? But But what's very hypocritical? I'm like, what? Oh, some of the Christians. Yes, I absolutely agree. Like, what is wrong with you that you sit there and you think that you can judge somebody based on what they look or their past or their decisions, and you think that you're all godly and holier than now at that point? No, you are not. Let me just say. Right? The super just for fun, and you're just everybody, it just confuses the entire thing. Like, sheesh, slow your roll. For real. Distracting. Yeah, it was uncalled for. It's not even on topic. It's different if we were on the topic. Oh my gosh, seriously. Best drama-free zone around. There you go, Lisa. That's true. Everybody's welcome. It really doesn't matter, what you think or feel, as long as you're being respectful about it, saying that that's how you feel about something or it's your opinion about something. You don't have to put anybody else down in the process. Right? Yeah, I figured out what you meant, Mommy Peanut, after I asked. Yeah. Some religious people are very hypocritical, and it's really sad that they don't even seem to see it, and it's like, um have you read the whole Bible? Because yeah, don't judge somebody, because the moment that you do, there's three fingers pointing back at you. But hey, agreed. Nobody likes religion shoved in their face. Exactly, Geordie girl. Exactly. Like, ugh, seriously. I know. No wallets. I'm like, what the fiddle? What? I don't get it. To make them feel like they're still citizen and stuff. I don't. What is the point of that? It made no sense. Hey, Laura, how you doing, honey? Just finished your daughter's first day of therapy. Wow, cool. How did it go? Hopefully it went well. Yeah, the difference is regular people don't think like them. That's very true. I have no time to be judgmental, really. You know what I mean? Hello, Miri. How you doing? Tammy. Stephanie is the best place to be. Stephanie. Oh, you're talking to Stephanie. Dentures and storage container, right? I'm just like, okay. Although there was, there is a 67-year-old serial killer in Canada that just recently went to jail. So, I mean, I guess they need to have their dentures if that's what they need. But really odd. The spammer should be in Chris Wattsell with him all day. Yeah, I don't know, Jordy girl. I don't know. He has supposedly, found a relationship. Chris Watts needs just for men for the hair. Oh my goodness. Ignore them. Yeah. Doing good. That's good, Mary. I've got cleaning to do. I've got dust flying around everywhere that's bugging me. And my cat hairs, and I'm just like, get out of here. Just everywhere. He can be a promoter there. Yeah. I bet his boyfriend likes his hair. Oh my goodness. And now we're getting silly, aren't we? You did? You quit it? You quit, why did you quit, Tammy? I'm so curious. Like, what was your reason? Yeah, I've got 2 cats, and I really should have vacuumed before I started, but I didn't, and so here we are. Yeah, why? I'm so curious. He's just trying to perfect his new role to be the perfect inmate. Yeah, I don't know, hey? Here is what I told them. Am I OCD? No, I don't think so, because I don't mind things being a little bit messy and put in odd places and stuff once in a while. So, no, I think I'd be able to admit it. I'm not totally, but I like a certain level of clean, you know? And when there's cat hairs floating around everywhere and stuff, it's too much, you know? Here is what I told them. I was so deceived when it came to this throughout experience. The product made me hungry. I am still really tired all the time. It was the one I got a hold of, but no one cares. Click or pyramid scheme. Interesting. I've gained energy. Yeah, well, I guess apparently the burn patches were the ones that really sent him over, apparently. The black patches had caffeine in it. So, I mean, you had to be taking multiple is how I see it, like, which of course is going to cost money, right? I mean, if you have to take a burn patch and a caffeine patch, and you have to take a shake, and you have to take some pills, I mean, sheesh, you're looking at a couple of various regimes that all are going to cost money, right? So I'm not surprised, but I was surprised to hear when you had entered, to be honest. I wondered why, like, did you enter because of what, we were talking about, or what? Because you could quite noticeably see Nicole Atkinson go down in weight quite quickly, actually, too, right after all of this had happened, and we were all talking about all of this stuff and what the ingredients were and all this crap. Yeah, expensive. Well, most any MLM thing is kind of expensive in a sense. Like, you're putting your profits back into your product in order to, first off, have stock on hand for yourself, but as well as, gifts or promotional products or donations, try me type things. What are you talking about? I am certainly not interested in accepting just any old link from anybody online. And I learned that lesson actually a while back. But then again, recently, when somebody was spamming with porn links and stuff that were not visible to me, but were visible to only one of my mods, the other 3 mods did not see a damn thing, just like me, which I was very happy to be verified about. For, in all honesty, I was a little irritated. I noticed her lose weight quite rapidly afterwards, actually. I don't know what she looks like now, though. I haven't looked into her at all. People just probably just raised up as a bad person. What, Phil? What? What's BP, Mary. I wonder if they made him like what you hear about some people when they take steroids. I don't know. I don't know. I know what you mean, right? Because the steroids give you a hormonal imbalance, you know, creating anger and stuff quite quickly. Like you're moody, you're sensitive to nothing, you know, and you freak out. I think Watts is more concerned what other people think of him rather than feeling remorse for his children. I think he feels a little bit of remorse, but I know what you're saying about the whole like concerned about what other people think about him. Because as soon as you care what other people think about you, you're going to let that predict and how you react and act in the world. If you really truly do not give a flying rat's beep about what anybody thinks about you, you're not going to be like, oh, I should do this, or oh, I should act like this, or oh, I should imitate that or this. You're just going to thoroughly enjoy yourself as yourself out and about whatever you're doing, you know? But we could consistently see that Chris seriously could not, oh, high blood pressure. Thanks. He couldn't even act himself. Like he was on the boat cruise. I mean, he was mimicking his buddy. He was just everything he did looked awkward. He looked like he was just going through the motions because it was habitual in whatever it is he was doing. Like he had done it 100 times. Nothing was new, and certainly nothing was cherished. I mean, it wasn't just like, oh, a special moment. Oh, look, their first, you know, beach trip. Oh, look, their first, you know, carnival ride. I mean, he couldn't care less. He was so busy already wrapped up in other conversations with Nicole Kessinger. He didn't give a flying rat's rear end about anything other than himself at that point, you know? So me and abbreviations, you guys, I don't know what it is. It's just like sometimes they're just poof gone. And then as soon as I hear it, I'm like, ugh, that's what it was. Oh my gosh. Why does anyone want a patch? I don't think just one does it though. You have to get into the regime for it to be doing something for yourself, right? Anonymous 1234 flying rats. Beep. Right? So true. I don't know about oh, I don't know. Is any pregnant? I don't know. Yeah, but you would need regular like supply in a sense, you know, to start up on it. But congratulations if she is. Thankfully, he was proactive and they got Chris Watts before he had a chance to do anything else. I should check out your last comment. I agree, I can't imagine how she's feeling. You talked to Nicole? Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Well, and she talks to me too as soon as I mention anything about Thrive. They give you 60 a month. Interesting. So are you supposed to wear 2 a day then, or what? You need 30, like, for what do you mean, Tammy? Hurl, but she's hoping for a girl. Yeah. But she has a little girl too already. She has a girl and a boy. One a day. Oh, okay. She has two girls. See, so at that point, it's almost like whatever you have is nice as long as it's healthy. 10 fingers, 10 toes, you know? Yeah. When you have one of each, it's easier at that point to say, it doesn't matter what it is as long as it's healthy. Bet Watts doesn't get Thrive in person. Yeah, no, I know he doesn't. I know he doesn't. Hello, Kara. How are you, honey? Phil, Tammy talks to Nicole Atkinson because she joined up the Thrive Lavelle company through Nicole Atkinson, I believe. It started with Shanann. I know, right? This all started with beautiful Shanann, in all honesty. Yeah, he's gained for sure, but I mean, he's not doing as much either, and he's got like, $40 worth of Canteen a week to chow down on. So, also, by the way, I just turned 16 today. Is your birthday? Well, happy birthday, Phil. Yeah, very young. I think you're probably the youngest YouTube person we've had on my channel that I know of. And that is taking what you're saying at face value. So, is he okay in there? Thriving for the rest of his life. Yeah, no doubt. Well, we're not really talking to him about anything. We were just discussing our Chris Watts details, and maybe he knows some of that case. There's certainly been a lot of public information available for him to look into it. So I would like to think that my channel is pretty self-inclusive. Like, I mean, it's not really, there's nothing horrible that happens here that somebody underage couldn't be here. There's, I think, all ages are welcome because we don't tolerate bullying and name calling and disrespectful content and degrading material or derogatory material or anything like that. So there's really nothing that he's going to see or hear here that he wouldn't, see or hear, maybe even just on like a news station or something. So, we ain't his mama. Yeah. Hey, Nasty Nate. How's it going? Excuse me. Pardon me. Every time I see you, Nasty Nate, all I can think about is the logo knickers. I'm just like, oh my gosh, every time. You come on and I just like chuckle inside thinking about you wearing my logo knickers. Does anybody else think about that still? Or is it just me, right? Because I mean, he was like, I'm so ordering a pair of those. Right? Every time I see him, I'm like, oh my gosh. Too funny. Right, Laura? Do you remember that? Thank you, Chica. Well, I think that was really hilarious, to be honest. Like one of the funniest moments that I've had here on my channel in a long time. Fly swatters are moving. Yeah. No, we're licking wrenches now. We're in full force at this point. We're an hour and a half in. We are in full force. We were talking about logo stuff. We were talking about merchandise, actually. And somebody was mentioning something about knickers and, you know, Nasty Nate's like, I'll order a pair of those. It was pretty funny. It was funny. This was like a month or two ago. Not long ago, but I mean, it was like this year. It was so funny. And all I can picture is him in like a logo with this true stories, Miss Sherry Wiens. And he's wearing some bloomers. Too funny. Nasty Nate, you're so funny. Now you're not going to laugh about it. You're the one who started it. Of course it's funny. Yeah, the naughty side in him came out there. I thought it was kind of funny. See, all the ladies find it funny. I think the only reason why he does it is because he's like, what? You guys are picturing me wearing your underwear? That's not funny. Yes, it is. Right? I'm sorry, but I think it's hilarious. Like, oh boy. Good times, good times. For real though. And perhaps you don't find it funny anymore, Nasty Nate, but the rest of us ladies are completely going to continue laughing about it because it's so funny. Hello there. Good afternoon. How is everybody doing today? Shahid Turner, welcome, welcome. If you guys are enjoying spending some time here, please hit that, like. I want to hit that thumbs up. It's like isn't it like right there? Well, I know that subscribe button is down there. Hit that button. Come and join us regularly twice a week. We have lives. We have a good time, lots of laughs, interactive conversations, and a non-bullying platform. What more could you ask for? With giveaways. I mean, seriously, does it get any better? Just toot toot. Boy, oh boy. My laughing's contagious. I've heard that before, which is really cool because I didn't know I had that feature. That's kind of neat. I probably would have used it far more often had I have known that it was a contagious factor of mine. I would have been like spreading it around. Too funny. Yes, we have merch. We don't have any knickers or bloomers, but we have a lot of other things. Too funny. You were laughing, Jordy girl? That's so cute. You always give me a thumbs up. Thanks, J Money. Nasty Nate is just like, what? What are you talking about down there? Like, what? Do a shout out to Phil Hughes? Why? Are you doing a shout out after? Like, of what, buddy? What do you mean? I could do a shout out to you. I love you too, Stephanie. Any spandex? You're funny. Yes, I have my tights. I'm a Lulu girl, remember? Lulu. Jordy girl, I love it that you're laughing. That's awesome. Laura seems to be having a good time too. Laugh and the world laughs with you. That is awesome. Your dog loves me. He's sitting in front of the TV staring at me. Aw. Just make him want to go up to the TV. Come here, boy. Too funny. Too funny. That's cute, Tina. Right? What the hell just happened? It just put in. That's weird. What? I'm at a table in a garage. We laughed so much one night. My 80-year-old dad opened the door and asked, "What the fuck are you laughing at?" That's funny. Well, I guess people hear laughter, cheerfulness too, and they're just genuinely like, "Hey, like what's going on? What's so funny? I want to laugh. Everybody wants to laugh, you know? Everybody wants a good chuckle." Quick question from Ellerdod. Hello, Tahar. This girl is great. Some Florida guy who sold a bunch of fake gold. What? I don't know. You mustn't have meant to hit enter yet or something. But also, I'm in Canada, so I don't know what you would do in Florida, although many of my audience is in the US, so perhaps they could help you. You are more than welcome to share whatever issue you have going on, and we will try to help. Absolutely. Okay, bye, Phil. Have a great birthday. Happy birthday to you. Bye. Are Canadians really super cool? /shot says. Yes, I am. I mean, we are. Oh, boy. Ah, Chica, you're faster than me. I couldn't do it quick enough. Poof, right? Totally. Yes, /shot. I think we are. For those of you that are wanting to check out the handbook that Chris Watts is going to be given as he goes into general population, I'm going to leave you that link. Is Fargo like Canada? No, but they're right on the brink. They're still the U.S. That's still the United States for Fargo. Yes, we Canadians are the coolest. Look at the snow. Exactly, right? Well, this morning I woke up and there was snow everywhere again, and I was like, what the fiddle? I thought we were having spring already now. And, now it's all melted again. I'm like, all right, that's better. I had to have a quick meeting with Mother Nature. Be like, listen, this is not what we agreed to. You are reneging on your contract here. Winter's over. You have an issue. What's going on, Lady Shady? What's up, girl? Laura's just laughing, right? This is not what we agreed to. We agreed to spring. And now you're blizzarding snow all over the place again. What is this? I took up a meeting with the manager instantly. Listen, Lord. Just kidding. No, we don't drink maple syrup like it's water, nasty Nate. So to come on the ground of Southern Ontario. Still have some on the ground in Southern Ontario. Nice. You can keep it. Super just for fun. You can keep it. I can't paint my kitchen ceiling. Anyone know? I would suggest getting a really long roller. They got all kinds of neat little tools nowadays. You've been to Quebec and Montreal? That's so cool, Stephanie. Does that mean you speak French? Do you speak French? File the complaint with Mother Nature, right? I was like, listen. You're reneging on your contract here. Do something about this. This is unacceptable. Oh boy. Escargot. Yeah, no thanks. Me neither. I'm wondering if Stephanie speaks French, though, because you visited Quebec and Montreal. Where's the proof button when you need it? Oh, man. I'm sorry, Lisa. Sorry, honey. I don't love you that much. Well, this has been really awesome hanging out, you guys. I definitely wanted to spread some awareness on the Samantha Josephson case as far as, what had happened to her and sort of how that happened to try to prevent that from happening to anybody else around the world. I got this, right? Shoot. We are past needing. Yeah. We got this. We're past needing. We got this. Yes, no, I love hanging out with all of you guys. And I just want to say a special thanks to all my moderators. You guys rock. I just absolutely love the way that you guys handle my, my feed as things are coming in that are perhaps inappropriate or just silly or a language none of us understand. I appreciate all of your efforts, and it's all, all in all honesty, the team wouldn't work without you guys. So thank you. If you guys are new to the channel and you enjoyed having some laughs and spending some time together here, hit that subscribe button. I mean, seriously, you don't know what you're going to miss if you don't. We have a special giveaway coming up for the month of April. Stay tuned for that announcement. And then we're also going to have our next live show on Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time again. And, it's always a pleasure hanging out and spending some time together, laughing and chatting. Thanks for the offer, though, Tar, right? Yes. The Sherry and Stephanie. Well, yeah, as far as the Samantha Josephson case goes, I hope that we can continue to spread that awareness to all of the people that we know and ask them to share it with the people that they know. And hopefully this will never happen again where somebody accidentally, loses their life for getting into the wrong vehicle. I mean, sheesh, what an honest mistake. And for somebody to go ahead and just annihilate another human being and take their last breath, all because they got into a vehicle that they thought was their safe ride. I mean, that's just brutal, So I encourage all of you guys to go out and share this story with everybody you know in order to spread awareness on that, because we're so busy with our everyday life. I want to prevent this from happening to somebody else again, And I really appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate your viewing, your subscribing, all your commentary, and our interactive conversations together. I couldn't do this without you guys, and I thank you and love you all. So if you're new, subscribe. And if you enjoyed this, throw up a like. And we will see you guys again on Saturday for our regular true story time. And I will see you probably for a upload before then on an update with another true story with me, Sherry Wiens. I hope you guys have a safe and happy week. TGIS, thank God it's Sherry. And I'll see you guys again soon. Bye, everybody. I love you.